Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video, we'll be into Revolutionary Army 2, utilizing the V2 waifus that are the newest Sugos on Optc Global, that is ViviBecca V2, as well as ShiraSherry V2. Now, stereotypically, the Revolutionary Army 2 has become a bit of a meme. There are a lot of very good characters that can actually take this down, and there are a lot of easy ways to do it, especially when it comes to healing. If you have like very good healers, you can basically just stall on the Molly stage, make it very, very easy for yourself, and this team is no exception to that. If you guys haven't seen any of the previous videos, I'll leave a card up at the top of the video for a couple of other like runs that I've done with these particular characters, as the healing potential that ViviBecca provide, the 5,000 out of 10 healing, as well as the switch abilities of ShiraSherry and the two ViviBeccas, it just gives so much. So on stage 3, we come up against Hack and 3 of his sort of friends, I guess we'll call them. So this is where we're going to use the special of Baccarat. Baccarat can remove the attack down that gets inflicted, and with the support of Tessera, we can actually give ourselves a chain lock as well. Now, if you guys don't have Baccarat, or you don't have a limit break key or anything like that, you can actually replace her with either Legend Chopper, or you can replace her with Legend Corazon. Both of them work very, very well, and they actually provide more healing, making this team even more tanky than it actually already is. On the next particular turn, we come up against Ivankov and two of the Kama girls. We are going to use our our Rare Recruit Pudding special to actually remove the bind and despair that our captains get inflicted with, and then we can use a ViviBecca special to wipe that stage. On to the next stage. This is where things get a little bit tricky. We come up against Sabo and Koala. Now, against Sabo Koala, they actually make all colors unfavorable. This is where ShiraSherry is really, really nice, because we can actually turn all of our orbs into rainbow orbs. Now, Koala actually locks those orbs as well, so that way we can actually carry them into the next room, which is just super nice. We are going to take a little bit of time here on Sabo. Make sure you are switching with your Shanks every single turn. That way you're just getting a lot more damage output, and you can easily clap this particular stage. You can hang around on this stage if you need to against Sabo. I think you can start stalling for like 3 turns before he like does his big like death hit. And with the amount of like healing this particular team has, it works really, really well. On the next stage against Morley, this is where things normally get like stereotypically quite easy. Morley puts up 2 turns of defense up in Threshold. After those 2 turns, he puts up 5 turns of them, and he actually has 5 turns of resilience as well. He attacks every 2 turns and gives you Dex Orbs every single turn as well. But with this particular team, we can actually make those Dex Orbs matching. And as long as we're switching with ShiraSherry every single turn, we're actually getting that overheal mechanic. And we can actually just basically stall here forever. If you need more healing, you can actually switch with ViviBecca as well. That also works. But ideally, we just basically want to stall out his defensive effects and the resilience, and then we can just take him out after that. He doesn't have too much HP, and we have a lot of color affinity against him, so we can actually like just whittle his HP down. But for this particular team, I did want to try and do it a little bit quicker, so we are going to use the ViviBecca special there, and we can easily take that stage out because we do have Baccarat limit break keyed, as well as Pudding, but I don't think that's really essential because you can just basically stall there for as long as you need. On to the next stage, we come up against Bella Betty and 5 of her lackey friends, I think I'll call them, I guess. On this particular stage, we can actually just use the switch ability of Shanks Crew to give ourselves an attack boost, and with Baccarat, we can actually remove the attack down that gets inflicted. With Baccarat, because our captain's a quick unit, we can actually get an orb boost with her, which is just really, really nice. On the next turn against Lindbergh's going to basically give us a full border unfavorable orbs and bind our top, bottom, right, and middle left. So that's where Pudding being on the bottom left-hand corner is very, very important. And having Baccarat in the middle right is actually super important as well. Because we can make Dex Orbs matching, Pudding gives a full border orbs. And then basically we can just utilize Shanks' switch ability for the attack boost and easily just take out Lindbergh just over time. With like I can't stress enough how like OP healing can be. Unfortunately, these teams do take a little bit longer than the stereotypical or some of the like higher end teams, but you can't be denied what ViviBecca can actually do as a captain because of the amount of healing they actually have, as well as utilizing ShiraSherry as a sub. It works so damn well. Like the amount of healing that you get is just it's so ridiculous. Plus, they are cerebral characters, and Cerebral just has so much support in the game, which is just absolutely gobsmacking. On the next turn after Lindbergh, we come up against Carousel. He puts up 2 turns of Threshold and glooms us for 2 turns. On the 3rd turn is where we can basically do damage. Every turn he does give us the chain coefficient reduction and randomly changes our orbs as well. But we can easily just take him out every 3rd turn by just basically just doing damage with our normal tabs. ViviBecca giving the color affinity buff helps out quite a bit, and if you need to, you can actually just use the ShiraSherry special at any time to remove the despair, as well as give you guys back a whole bunch of heal. Karasa hits quite hard, but like I said, we have so much healing here, and with the Shirahoshi Man-Cherry special, we can basically just heal our way to victory. So we're going to use the ShiraSherry special there. Basically, that way we can just get back to our full HP pool. And then we can just start doing more damage to Karasa on the next turn. Because we can get our Baccarat special back as well, Baccarat being on such a low cooldown if you do limit break key her, I think she goes down to 10 turns. We can actually get an orb boost with her. So when we do want to burst Karasa down, we can switch with Shanks to get an attack boost, use the orb buff that Baccarat provides, and then we can actually get a chain lock with Shank's crew. Finally, we are going to finish it off with the Sabo Koala stage by utilizing the ViviBecca special. The ViviBecca special is going to give us an attack boost and an orb boost to our cerebral characters, and we don't even need to get rid of the block orbs, basically because we have rainbow orbs that we carried over from the previous stage, and it works really, really well. The next team that I actually made was this particular team right here. Now, this team, you basically cannot die. Like, the amount of healing this particular team has compared to the previous team. Shout out to Kruby, by the way, for putting both teams in the video. You have something like, 6,000 healing every turn on top of the 5,000 healing that ViviBecca can provide. So, it's actually pretty nuts what this team can actually do. And it actually has no issues whatsoever taking this particular piece of content down. The cheese that you can get with something like this it's just insane. Like, and that's what makes these characters so good, being ViviBecca and ShiraSherry. I think ShiraSherry is going to see a lot more usability moving forward as a sub for particular pieces of content. But honestly, I'm a bit blown away about how good ViviBecca actually is. Now, they're not game breaking or they're not anything like that, but they are a lot better than I originally gave them credit for. And they can actually do some wild things. So, as you can see here, we are using Corazon instead of Baccarat, and we're using Mihawk Perona instead of Shank's crew. Now, Mihawk Perona does have the support of Zoro for the chain lock on the final stage, and with this particular team, it probably is a little bit, well, it's a lot safer, I should say, as there's a lot more healing, and we actually have block or manipulation for the final stage. With the support of Law and Corazon, we could easily take out that hack stage, move on to the next stage against the Kamakama Girls and Ivankov, and we can basically take them out by utilizing the special of Vivi and Rebecca with the support of Lucy. I think that's what we did last time, just to get around the special reverse. On to the next stage against Koala and Sabo. Once again, we are going to use the Shirahoshi Man-Cherry special to give us a full board of rainbow orbs, and then we can just basically blow this particular stage away, just with our normal attacks. ViviBecca also providing that color affinity buff is actually really, really strong. Provided you have the colors to attack for content like this, you can actually output quite a lot of damage. As you can see with Mihawk there, having the color affinity, he just does so much damage. The problem with that color affinity buff is it does go both ways. If you are attacking with a dex unit or a strength unit, you are going to lose a significant amount of damage, as you basically lose that 1.3 times. Or it gets multiplied backwards, I guess, or divided. Multiplied backwards. Fuck, I'm a spoon. But, moving on to the Morley stage now, this is basically where we are just going to take our time, stall through his defensive effects like we did with the previous team. But with this particular team, we can actually take a little bit less damage, as we can give the negative buff that Mihawk and Perona provide on their switch ability. With Vivi and Rebecca being able to boost all cerebral units, it just opens the door for so many good subs, and team building with them is actually ridiculously easy. The striker tag isn't exactly as essential as the cerebral tag, but the fact that they are sort of built around cerebral based teams just makes their team building very easy, as cerebral just has they have a plethora of very good subs. On this turn against Bello Betty and her posse, we're going to call it, we're going to use the Corazon special once again to remove the attack down, and then we can just take our time taking her out here. If you don't kill her after the second turn, she just basically respawns the posse, so we're just going to want to take them out again. Another thing to note about ViviBecca too is they actually are Dex and Quick, and I think that flies under the radar a lot, because Dex and Quick basically was sort of missing a very good sub, and a lot like very good sub potentials. And the fact that they are striker means that they can work with Kaido, and their switch ability, being able to remove special bind and then removing special bind themselves, just helps out significantly, especially when we are getting a lot of the new content that has fear. The fact that they basically just have inbuilt fear with their switch ability is just incredibly powerful. Onto Crossout now, we are just basically going to stall our way through, get our healing back, and then before we move on to the final stage against Sabo and Koala. Again, we have ShiraSherry special, so we basically don't have any issues whatsoever. ShiraSherry as a sub as well is just, it's definitely going to see play in a very, very high number of content. They have so much utility, and basically removing paralysis completely is insanely strong. Anything that can completely remove, like V1, ViviBecca completely removing defense up, completely removing damage reduction, ShiraSherry completely removing paralysis, and then with Sanji and Pudding being able to completely remove threshold and damage reduction, I'm pretty sure it's the other thing that they do. That is always going to be relevant, and is always going to see play moving forward. So if I had to say who's better out of the two units, I would say overall ShiraSherry is the better unit out of ViviBecca and V2 ShiraSherry. But as a leader, definitely ViviBecca just takes the cake, hands down. It's not even really a competition at that point. As a sub though, ShiraSherry again takes the dub for that. So that's why I think overall that ShiraSherry gets that W. On this particular team as well, you can actually utilize the Pudding special if you need it to get damage reduction as well as some more healing. That way you just sort of take as much time as you need on this Kurosawa stage. Unfortunately, with this particular team, we don't really have that chain lock mechanic that Shank's crew could provide in terms of the carryover effect. So we do have to take a little bit more time on this particular stage, but once we do get our two ViviBecca specials back, we can easily just finish him off. Because we have the rainbow orbs too, it's a very easy way to get around the block orb mechanic on the final stage. But with this particular team, we do have Mihawk Perona. Mihawk Perona being like cerebral in both their forms is just so damn strong, and it actually makes them a really good sub for the particular teams like ViviBecca, because they can actually provide more healing as well as something that no one else can provide. So that's going to wrap this video up today, guys. So taking the V2 girls into all the hard content, this is going to wrap up my sort of showcase of the new unit. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, make sure to go down there and build that like button for me. And if you are new to my channel, hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, guys, I thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Lights!